All right, this is video 29. This is super exciting, and I have Erin with me. I met Erin through a good mutual friend, Lacey. Of course, we're probably all getting our brows done, but she introduced me to this wonderful woman, and now I've gotten to dive into her social media and her blogs and everything that she's doing in the community and in the food world and all the things. So kind of give us a brief overall of what you're doing right now.
So right now I'm continuing to run the organization that I founded, which is the Spokane Guild. We look at all kinds of different locally owned businesses specific to food and art and entertainment, but we really center around high quality food products in the greater Spokane and Coeur d'Alene areas. And I also run Guild Creative, and that is actually an organization that I started about a year ago because the Spokane Guild exploded so quickly and was doing so well on social media. And I was actually an elementary school teacher before I became a digital strategist. And my interest was always very heavily involved in technology and how it could bridge the gap for people and get them connected to things that they were really passionate about. I was a military wife many moons ago, and we were part of this group called the Hangar Honeys. It was all of the aviation wives that got together digitally and were able to stay connected when they moved all around the United States. And we are still as close as we have ever been. We connect every single day, even after all of the crazy things we've been through. So weirdly, something like the quarantine isn't really new for us. We're used to connecting digitally and making sure that we're reaching out to people that we care about. But then through Guild Creative, I've been able to help businesses to stay relevant and communicate their information as effectively and directly with their consumers as possible. Like what you're doing right now, getting to interview people and talk with them about their story and how they're overcoming the struggles that they're encountering with this new business environment. It's really important work. So that's something I'm very passionate about. And in the community, we are out all the time listening to business owners, talking with them, getting to know their story. And there are a lot of amazing things happening with the struggles that we're encountering. There's so much creativity that's really exploding everywhere. So that's what I do in a nutshell. And my experience in education tells me that we're all learning through this. And the more that we listen to each other and get to know what's working and what isn't and continue to adapt and change, it will make the experience better.
I think honestly that's the biggest piece is learning how to adapt to all this, and after this is over to continue to adapt. So great. How did you get into this? I guess take that switch from education to this.
Yeah, that was a very seamless transition actually. In education, I always had such a passion for technology and went into this organization called the International Society for Technology and Education. And ISTE has this amazing global conference every year in different cities around the United States, Denver, San Antonio, Philadelphia. And I got to not only go to these cities and experience their amazing food scene, but also learn about the absolute latest in technology and how kids were able to translate that information into something that would display their learning. Mm-hmm. And there are all kinds of new products coming out all the time. So at these conferences, oftentimes companies would debut these brand new technologies, and then we as educators would have to figure out how to fit that into our curriculum. And as I continued to use them, I thought adults aren't even accessing these things. Right. So how can I provide that education to adults and to business owners specifically, who, especially in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, they just weren't accessing and utilizing social media to its fullest potential to be able to showcase their business. And within social media, there are all kinds of different tools that you can use to show yourself off, from apps that make really unique videos to stop motion photography. I mean, it's absolutely endless. So to take those little pieces and to distill them into something that's simple and easy for a business owner to learn about, and to also provide them with that guidance and be a social media strategist for their company exclusively, those are the two things that I gradually kind of worked myself into, because people asked me to take on their social media. Getting to know people like Lacey was an absolute life changer for me, in that we had previously connected in middle school and then ended up getting together because she did my makeup for my wedding. And before we got to know one another, my respect for her as a female business owner just blossomed the more that I saw the choices she was making and how passionate she was. And she brought me in and said, hey, I really want someone to help with my social media. Please
Right.
give me some advice on how to do this, this, and this.
Mhm.
And when those things were successful, then she would take that on and use them again and again and ask me to kind of come in and take that on for her. So
Mhm.
I ended up having to leave my teaching job because I just couldn't do both anymore. Business had increased and grown so much that I had to make a choice, and it was so hard. But I still do volunteer in classrooms all the time to get that kid fix. And I happen to have, twin sixth graders and a seventh grader to keep me busy with, digital instruction and real life instruction. So,
Especially right now. I mean, you're doing it all.
yeah, for sure. We have a lot of hats we wear.
Exactly. So what's your favorite thing about your job and what you do?
Oh my gosh, getting to know so many different businesses inside and out. I really want to know their story. At its core, social media is about storytelling and getting to know the little nuances about how a person's business is unique and different. It's very exciting to see what's happening around the United States and especially in the inland Northwest. Business is growing and exploding so much. So to be able to harness that and give people a chance to see themselves through someone else's eyes, I think is kind of magical.
That is. So on the other side, what's the least favorite thing about your profession?
Ooh, that's an easy one. Online trolls are really tough to deal with.
Mhm.
You get them in every different field and facet. And just like in person, there are always those people who will kind of tend to be negative and try to detract from your success, whether it's out of jealousy or just they had a bad day. So being able to put that in perspective and not take it personally is a skill I think everyone continues to have to learn. But for me in particular, running the guild, I get more of that than I do when I'm working with the businesses for the most part. We have a very strict protocol as to how to deal with negative feedback. And you always want to be encouraging of the consumer to advocate themselves. So that isn't always hard. I think it's when it's a project of your own that's like so deeply personal that stings a little more, but that's when you just have to continue to push through and be positive and respectful to people, even if they aren't so nice in return.
It's really hard. I've worked on that too, but I've noticed like if you do that, then they end up being quiet. They're like, well, I didn't get the reaction I wanted. So, you know,
Exactly. Being
uh,
in peace for sure.
yeah. So what's the first thing you're going to do after quarantine?
Whew, I know exactly what I'm going to do, and I cannot wait. I'm going back to Walla Walla again. I had the most amazing experience there. We stayed at the Wesley, which is this little micro hotel, a B&B with two different ginormous hot tubs and a cute little kitchenette, and it was so secluded and beautiful. And then you could walk around all of downtown. They have gorgeous shops, amazing food. So when we get to get out of here, I already have a plan, and that's to stay at the Heritage Resort and really take a load off. I'm tired. So tired of the same four walls.
Yeah, I know. I love Walla Walla. It's magical. It's a lot of fun.
It really is.
So if you could give your younger self a piece of advice, what would it be?
Whew. Don't be afraid to fail. Do something that challenges you and be gentle with yourself when you do. I think we all can tend to be, especially as women, very self-critical, and really tearing apart every little mistake that we've made can have a positive effect. But if you allow those negative voices to continue to spiral, you'll never do things that you're really excited about that you wouldn't have thought could be an opportunity. Like going digital for me, I always thought that that field was not open to me because I didn't build computers and wasn't super tech driven in video gaming and all of that stuff like I watched my brothers do. And as they went into the tech fields, it gave me a chance to see digital in a whole new light. Female voices are very important, and to allow myself to expand and to look at that earlier on, I think would have been really positive.
Yeah, I agree. And last piece, two things. How can the community support you during this time? And then how can they get a hold of you and contact you?
Well, supporting our business during this time, just interacting and engaging with the accounts that we have, checking in on people that you think are strong, I think is probably the most important thing. Just saying hi, having that interpersonal communication during this time is key. And I have my blog at SpokaneGuild.com. You can follow that and learn all about wonderful small businesses in this area, specific to the restaurant industry and beyond. And if you want to learn more about how to connect with your audience in the digital space, go to go to guildcreative.com. My name is Erin Peterson. So if you look out and find me out on the internet, I'm on Facebook all the time, Instagram. I also would love to see more people get into this field who really have a heart for storytelling. So that would be a huge way to support.
Perfect. Well, you are amazing, and thank you so much for taking time today.
Thank you. Have a good day, Tabitha.